Hello there.
Pleased to...
Do you know...
Not that. But a sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
Why is Peagram's departure upset the landlord?
He's lost a paying guest, that's why. More than that, there's the question of an unsettled bill. Poor Michael's seen red over the business, and I don't blame him.
Can you tell me more about the landlord?
Mick Leary? He's what you call a would-be sophisticated. The trouble is, his idea of sophistication extends his...
It never works out.
That's true. Have you ever run your hand over the back of the door? The graffiti is written in Braille.
Do you...
I'm sorry, but I don't. He hoped on.
Why did he do that?
Who knows? A guilty conscience, or whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Lochmar. Maybe now the fuss about the gem has died down.
What can you tell me about the gem which
Now there's a gem, which should never have been. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's your interest in the jewel?
Yes, that's right.
Another bloody news hound. Well, you're wasting your time here, boy. You'll find the people of Lochmar are tight-lipped and cautious.
Why? Have you got something to...
It's just that we don't like to wash our dirty laundry.
What do you make of this tissue?
I'd guess that muck on it is grease paint.
There's no fooling you, Mr. O'Brien. What can you tell me about the cast?
You're wasting your time. There's no story there. Just a...
Was it Peagram who dug up the
The same man, if he wasn't his twin brother. And can you guess what?
He sent it to a museum in Paris. Have you...
More than that. And let me tell you, it's a dreadful spect.
So it's not just a local there really is a phantom of Lochmar.
Oh, no. I was...
Goodbye for now. He wasn't listening. The guy with the fiddle, meanwhile. I was about to reach. The man's arm lay across. Hi there, old-timer.
What?
Nasty. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? Father, says I, why were we born to suffer?
What did he say?
He said it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner. Pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary court.
Halitosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
Excuse me?
Police.
Do you know Peagram?
That's the scrawn. No, I don't know.
Can I buy you a beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff leak.
What's wrong with it?
I've seen what it can.
Were you aware that Pegram was conducting an archaeological...
I don't meddle in other people's affairs.
Do you know where I can find Pegram?
I told you, I never...
Can you...
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochmarn Castle is haunted.
That's what the kid out...
Then... To be sure. We...
Ghost...
You can't...
There's...
That's right.
Can you just...
It was...
Are you sure it...
skunk. No.
I think I know what you saw on the couch.
I know what
I don't think so.
What?
He was up on the wall last Tuesday night. He thought you were the Phantom of Light.
Oh?
Do you reckon...
Is that supposed to be you?
No.
I can't tell without me glasses.
I'll see you later.
Hey, where do you think you're...
Excuse me?
No customers behind the bar.
I recognized the guy from McGuire's description. He was real twitchy.
Hello.
Doyle told me you definitely worked at the dig.
You don't believe him, do you? Patrick Doyle is a moron and a scoundrel.
Even...
You can't prove that, mister.
See you later.
Hello?
Nico?
Who is it?
It's me, George.
Oh, hello, George. Where are...
I'm
What's it like there?
kind of sleepy. Comatose, even.
Did you get to talk to Pigram?
Are you okay?
Oh, sure I am. Don't worry about me. Any signs of our friend the clown?
You're kidding. He probably never even heard of Lochmarn. I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs. The farmer's craggy face was set in a mask of aesthetic appreciation. His feet were set in a pair of manure-caked boots.
Hi. Well, now, what if I was to say an implication of cognizance shrouded in denial?
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist. It was a...
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're...
I was a little out of practice. Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Yeah.
Back in England, I suppose.
Do you
Look at the facts. He dug up the gem. He disappeared. Bingo. It doesn't take a degree in mathematics to work that one. You don't have to be a smarty Pythagoras with a calculator.
I guess not.
Pegram has run off with the gem.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years.
Who built the castle?
Mad Phelan, the first lord of Lochmarn. Well, I say lord, but actually he was little more than a village chieftain. He built his castle from the remains of the Templars.
Where was the site of the Templar preceptory?
Right here on Temple Hill. Phelan built right on top of the old wall. It's said that deep beneath these walls there's a Templar chapel.
Did Pegram discover the chapel?
I don't know. His workers were sworn.
Do you mind?
What? You'd break your stupid neck for sure. Do you think
I'd be very careful, and I promise.
you won't get the chance? Not while I'm here to stop you.
Good book?
Uh,
Yeah, what's the title?
Creative Shelving for Beginners, the 1978 edition.
What's so cool about home improvement?
There's nothing like it. The resinous autumnal aroma of season. Ah, no wonder our Lord came to earth as the son of a humble. I bet he was a wizard with a chisel and a length of tube.
Surely the portrayal of Christ's adoptive family as humble artisans.
I don't know about that, but I know they were carpenters. Haven't you read the book?
Well, no. But I have seen The Greatest Story Ever Told, and I don't recall Jesus. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together. He's not a friend of yours, is he? I knew it! Piggy eyes. Can't trust him.
Do you recognize the name on this card?
I can't read that little right.
It says Thomas Merlin.
Is that your name? Tommy Merlin?
No. But what a great stage name. It had what my high school hypnosis act. For a few seconds, I bathed in spotlights on a thundering tide of applause.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, I just... What do you make of this matchbook?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
Do you recognize...
I already told.
I have to go now.
Hello.
Does this matchbook mean anything?
No.
See you later. Hey,
Hello, Derek.
do you recognize... No. Bye for now. I took hold of the grating and pulled hard, but it didn't move. I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move. I tapped the plastic with the lifting key, but it was too strong to shatter. The workman's key was specific, unfortunately. Hey,
What do you want to know?
Are you sure Fitzgerald worked at the dig?
Oh, yes. It was him.
Well, he denies it. I wish you'd told me that sooner. What were they doing?
Pegram gave Fitzy a box. He didn't look too happy about it.
I knew it. But how am I going to persuade him to part with it?
Break his fingers.
Nah, I couldn't do that.
I could.
Thanks for the offer, kid, but I'll try a more subtle approach.
Chinese burns?
Do you know where I could find Fitzgerald?
He's inside, but you won't get no sense out of him.
How?
He's like a frightened rabbit. A real bag of nerves. Boy, the fella's scared of his own shadow.
What's Fitzgerald scared of?
Everything and everyone.
So I shouldn't have any trouble getting him to talk.
He's a pushover. But don't scare him too much. Try the soft touch. Butter him up a bit.
Take a look. Ever heard of
No?
I heard...
That's right.
You haven't seen the gem, have you?
Hell no. I read before he could be...
See you later.
Okay.
Hello.
McGuire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Pegram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught. Just my luck. Grasped up by a delinquent and a dimwit.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not in the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefit at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Pegram about...
But he's not here.
So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitz. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
I'm from Paris. Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarn gem. Hey!
Get out of here, McGuire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling up?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's been runned over.
Get out. Noisy little...
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brand.
Oh, yes.
Not me.
Me too. No.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me...
I was standing here when I saw this beautiful red sports car. Would you look at that, says I. And I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass. Well, the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand. The plastic cover had been smashed by the pixie's car, revealing a switch. It was impossible to return the switch to its original position. I tugged at the trapdoor, but it was locked from the inside. I took hold. The drain was covered with an iron grating, through which I could hear the rush and... There was no food on...
Hello?
Nico? It's me. Are you okay?
Yes.
Well, take...
Yeah.
You're kidding. He probably never even heard of Lochmarn.
Top of the morning to...
I beg.
Well, that's what you Irish...
Do you want something? Or you just flaunting your...
Well, I was trying to...
Is it a room you're...
That's not a bad idea. Do you have a vacancy?
I could. If you don't mind waiting until the last guest checks out.
No problem. When will that be?
When the undertaker comes to collect him.
Do you know Sean Fitzgerald very well?
I know him enough not to sell him more than 2 pints. He's like a kid when he gets a few beers inside him.
I'm not surprised. He's on medication. It's for his
There's nothing wrong with his nerves.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend of his, by any chance?
In a manner of speaking, I am.
Right, me boyo, 160 quid he owes me, pay up.
That's Pegram's business, not...
Ah, but he's done a bunk, hasn't he?
I know. That's why I'm here.
And what about the money he owes me?
When I find him, I'll remind him about it. Did Pegram stay here?
Yes, he did. 6 nights plus breakfast.
He couldn't have had breakfast this morning. Not unless he had it afore he went to bed.
What the hell are you talking?
The history fella. I seen him this morning. Crack of dawn. I had to get up at 4 o'clock to see to the missus.
I didn't know your wife was sick.
She's not. Anyhow, I went out to empty the bucket. And what do you think I...
For the love of God, Doyle, get...
It was the history man, heading out to the village, on a boat.
I knew it. Hand over me money, or I'll throw you out.
A glass of beer, please.
Don't change the subject. Are you going to pay me Peagram's rent?
No way. Listen, I'm not really his friend. I've never even met the guy. But I need to find Peagram urgently.
Damn right it is.
Excuse me for butting in, Michael, but I think the young fella's telling the truth.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, I understand. Can I see Peagram's room?
It's been taken by one of the brothers from the reformatory. They come every year for spiritual refreshment.
That's a good one. Their idea of refreshment is a...
I wouldn't want to disturb, especially not a big fella from the bad.
I don't blame you, Mick. That brother...
Have you served any,
No, you're the first.
seriously? I'm...
A wordy.
I shouldn't think so. What can you tell me about the castle?
You're the second person to ask me that today. I don't know anything about. It's only an old ruin anyway.
Who else was asking about the castle?
He said he was a reporter. He was asking about the little people.
I could have told him a tale or two about the little... He might have paid me to hear what he wanted me to say.
Anyway, I chucked him out on it.
Good for you, Meg. That's the way to deal with journalists.
I'll try a glass of beer.
Is this your first pint of real...
Well, I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
beer that's brewed from natural ingredients? It shouldn't be kept under pressure. And finally, it should have a good...
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in.
I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I can fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional. Oh, well, at least the glass washer is still working. It's not my dear, is it?
Do you recognize...
No.
I've got a score to settle.
I don't want any trouble in the bar, mister. If it's a fight you're looking for, see Father Mahoney.
A priest? A man of the cloth?
Sure. And he teaches the boys how to box at the youth club. According to Mahoney, it develops character. Isn't that right, Pat? Didn't he teach you the art of pugilism? Doyle.
Sorry, Michael. I was miles away. What did you say?
Ah, never mind. Well, no. Isn't that marvellous? Ah, here's the house bedeviled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer. And when you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be my... There was nothing physically wrong with the glass washer. There was nothing physically wrong with the... I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. Seemed fine to me. It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer. I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it must be the wiring.
Well,
Well, what?
are you going to fix this glass washer or not?
There was nothing physically wrong with the glass washer. I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it... It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer. I used all my... Seemed fine to me. I was about to reach for the pump when a rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be my last. Hey! What do you know about leprechauns, Doyle?
Leprechauns?
Is it the little people?
Sure, and a cousin of mine was wed to one.
Oh, come on. Do you really expect me to...
It's the truth, I'm telling you.
She fell asleep.
On a bed. When she woke up,
Tell me more about your cousin and the...
oh, well, young Mary was speechless. Be my bride. Okay, says she. And he slips her in a deed.
Ah, man.
So there you are. Proof.
Well, that's no proof. All you...
Not so.
Did...
What promise was that now?
That she'd never want for riches again.
Now, there's the strangest thing.
I thought you said she was claiming the social power.
Indeed, Mr. O'Brien. But there's riches and riches. She told me...
Bye for now. Excuse me, Mr.
What now?
The boy told me Fitzgerald was driven away in the car that hit him.
McGuire's always spinning wild yarns. I don't know where he gets them from. Television, if I was you, I'd take what he says with a generous pinch of salt.
McGuire's tale about the car sounds quite plausible to me. He says the driver was dressed like a...
That boy has a head full of fluffy toys.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance.
Hey!
Hello there.
Oh, nothing. It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer. Almost as if he'd sensed my... Hello again.
What?
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire.
That's right. And when my little lover feels it round her slender...
If I was a woman, I wouldn't think much of a wire neck.
It's not made for a... I've got my sights on tastier dishes than women. Flesh as smooth and tender as a maiden's. Bones as soft and white as a new rabbit, lad. That...
Ah, so you're making snares to trap rabbits.
That's right.
Damn right I do. Isn't it painful?
Only if I get me fingers caught.
I'm talking about the rabbits. Do they feel...
You...
Take a...
Take a look. Oh, you...
I don't suppose it means anything to you, does it?
No,
What is it?
nothing. Go away and stop, Bob.
Hey, would you like... Take a look at this item.
I don't...
I'll see you later.
I'm still waiting for you to fix this glass washer.
Okay. Almost as if he'd sensed my intentions, the old derelict snatched the wire from the table. As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed his piece of wire. I used all... seemed... I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing, a free half pint to that man on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
What a dumb place to store a flashlight. A dark cellar. The only way I was going to find anything down there was to feel around. My hand closed on a long metal... I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen. I pulled the lever and the bolt creaked back into place. I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen. I lifted the trap door. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough jeans to go round? I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
It wasn't my nerves that stopped me jumping. It was my damned legs. They wouldn't move. The trap door gave access to the cellar of the bar. Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
See you later.
Oh.
It was Peagrim's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. As I held it aloft, I realized the fascination it could command. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's...
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari. I searched the trash, but there was nothing. It was a couple of paper sacks filled with trash. It was a bunch of cleaning material. I looked among the cleaning materials, but saw nothing. The carton was damp and soft. It was a calendar with a faded photograph of a... The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored... It was a rusty faucet. I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping. Touching the glass washer would have been like putting my hand in a... Excuse me? Yes, sir? I found your flashlight.
So I see. You'd better keep hold of that until you fix the pumps.
Thanks. Hey, McGuire.
What do you want?
Give me your...
Get lost.
Oh, come on.
No, Father.
I just...
Oh, all right.
Gotcha.
Didn't feel a thing.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Hi, it's me again.
So I...
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill, and sure, it was an awful noise.
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car. The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
What?
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvelous.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay. On the back of the cart was a crazily stacked tower of hay bales, leaning precariously against the castle wall. The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. I pushed my fingers into the narrow crack. It went back several inches into the rock. There was a narrow crack between two of the stones where the centuries-old mortar had crumbled away. I inserted the end. It remained. It was the fiercest, meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon. It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something. Hey, Billy. The animal fixed on me with an evil behind the malice and resentment. How you doing, boy? I felt as threatened as I'd been. The goat's movements were restricted by a halter tied to a metal post. I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite securely. The lifting key. Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
See you later.
Okay. Hello.
We've already met. I want you to know you have my sympathy.
Oh, it's just terrible, awful.
It's the worst news I heard all day.
It's top the bad news all right for this week and the next.
The whole year.
It's worse than that. It's a worse disaster than living memory.
Isn't it the biggest calamity in the history of the village?
I would say it's the biggest in the history of Ireland.
The most awesome disaster since mankind paddled out of the primal plop.
This is the gem that Pegram found.
So that's what all the fuss was. I can't see why myself. Why men would fight and steal and kill.
Well, it's kind of neat.
You sure?
I gotta go. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Does this gem...
Sure.
Thanks. Hey,
Hello, Derek.
do you recognize the...
Saints be praised. It must be worth a fortune.
maybe it is. It's the one which...
Oh. How come
He left it behind. I'm looking after it.
Oh,
Bye for now. Nico?
Ooh,
It's me. Are you okay?
yes,
Well, take...
yeah. And
Yeah, he turned up dressed as a pixie.
what?
He came back and talked to me.
Are you crazy, George? The killer knows who you...
Relax. It wasn't me he was after. It was... It was an electric pump operated by pushing a small lever. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I don't want...
I'll just get...
The man... Hey! Hello there. Oh, no. Hey! May I
No,
Well,
because I'll spill me beer if you do.
do you recognize...
Yes, you
Bye for now. As the man raised his arm to drink, I snatched the towel away. Uh... I tried to pull the lever, but it... Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
What do you make of this, kid?
Hey, that's one of Leary's towels. He'll skin you.
That old windbag doesn't scare me. Anyhow,
You're pretty cool, mister.
see you later, kid.
Okay.
Uh, 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 Hey, Billy. The goat responded with a cool and... Hmm. The goat's... Hey, Billy. The goat... Hey, Billy. The goat responded with a cool and penetrating stare. The goat's movements were restricted by a halter tied to a metal post.
Hey, Billy.
The goat responded with a cool and penetrating stare. The goat's movements were restricted by a halter tied to a metal post. I tried to pull the lever, but it wouldn't move with the trap door open. The rope. There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern. I swung. The only object on the table which interested me was a small sack. The bench had probably been used by Pegram and his archaeological team. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints. I reached into the sack. I tried in vain to move the panel. Behind the altar was a carved panel decorated with animals, birds, and plants. I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. It was weird. They fit perfectly. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened. I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. The patch of sand where the statue had fallen was covered with a dense sprinkling of I sm I placed my I tried. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. It was my first experience of home. I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but I smoothed the I I squeezed the towel as hard as I could. The patch of sand where the statue had fallen was covered with a dense sprinkling of plaster. The faucet. I held the towel under the faucet. The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by... I eased the sun underneath. The hardened plaster cast fitted... A flight of stairs led down into darkness.
So,
At McDevitt's, I got to drinking with Doyle and
that explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep?
not much. I had to share the room with an...
Did it snow?
Hardly. Then Leary...
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet
And you say Pegram has disappeared?
without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pegram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Let's take another look at the manuscript. The Night Scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. That's the tripod in the crew. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a... But the... That's the gem that Pegram found in Loch... That... Let's take another look at the manuscript. The Night Scroll bears a phrase in... Through my teachings, you will be in...
Fascinating.
You're not in?
Oh,
Yeah? Do you want to look after the...
no, George.
Let's... There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces. There's a guy working... There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. That... I can't...
Okay.
Oh, shut... The window was full of overpriced clothes for overprivileged women. I beg your pardon. Are you Andre?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No, I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean...
Sure, it was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
a public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud. What do you...
Nothing.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
What do you make of this tool?
Interesting. Where did...
From a dig in Paris.
Vraiment? I didn't realize there were any...
What can...
He was responsible.
I know that, but why was Philip so hot to get rid of them?
Mostly because he wanted to get his hands on their treasure. He had an enormous debt and a lifelong war with England to fund.
If the Templars were so powerful, how did this Philippe dude wipe them out?
By underhanded, dishonorable means, of course. The Pope was Clement V, a
French, huh? Handy
Fate had nothing. He was Philippe's puppet, planted to further... Philippe wanted the wealth of the Templars, and you...
So what...
Sealed orders were sent out all over France, not to be... That day was Friday, July. That's the origin of our superstition regarding that... At dawn, it was the biggest...
What happened to the Templars after their arrest?
Philippe, not surprising.
Like what?
Oh, the sort of things you read about. Devil worship, lewd sex...
Well, that must have given their lawyers some head.
Whether or not the accusations were true, this was not good. Most of the charges were probably cooked up. Hundreds of them were found guilty. They died, protest.
But surely Philippe had no proof of his charges.
A man will admit anything. The Inquisition fabricated some, and then suggested to the victims that this was...
But they didn't have to agree.
The records show a Templar coming. Fragments of flesh. What would you know?
So there was no truth at all in the Baphomet act?
Not a shred. No. Baphomet...
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have...
There isn't much. Only a few I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing...
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
So,
On there was
does this...
Hello,
Where is it?
somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America.
Does the guy...
No,
Are you...
positive.
Can you tell me anything about the...
I sure can, Georgie. So, the...
Gee.
How did... You're glad to...
How... Is it... What...
No.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah.
Well, just give me the address and I'll,
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf. This friend, who has the
Ah oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as...
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Hey, Nico.
Oh,
Have you found out any more about the...
yes, I have. The guy responsible for the downfall was Philippe IV, the King of France, otherwise known as Philippe le Bel.
I've heard of him.
Well, he is known to history as Philippe the Fair, but I'm sure Andre will tell you all about it.
Let's take another look at them. I'll see you again. Oh, hi.
Hello?
What can you tell me about...
Nothing?
Do you recognize this nose? Have you seen anyone out here watching Mademoiselle Collard's apartment?
Yes, I have. A strange man, tall and thin as a broomstick. He kept his face hidden, but I saw his eyes peering from evil little...
How was he dressed?
A long brown raincoat with a hat.
Or like Humphrey Bogart?
Yes, but he didn't have Bogart's charisma. Besides, this guy looked like he needed a toilet. You never saw Bogart clenching his buttocks like that.
See you later.
That's right.
Hey, Nico.
Oh,
I'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Hello?
Do you recognize...
No.
A typically Parisian sidewalk. Last time I decided I would... Excuse me, officer.
And how may I help you?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within...
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic.
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most... Or I can sit here and enjoy the sight. Which would you...
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman.
An excellent...
Have you seen this man before?
No.
I believe him to be an internet...
Oh,
Is that all you can say?
I did wonder if... But it didn't...
Take a look at this.
Ah! My TV has been acting up. Could you fix it?
I doubt it. This isn't my ID. Does this matchbook...
The pattern looks Middle Eastern. Beyond that, who knows?
If you try...
It... Well... Allah...
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur.
In French, English, and German it read, in 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the knightly order of the Templars, and in the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was... I didn't have time to sit around. A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glow. I thought of all those fur... that... Whoa! A knight's tomb, his effigy in marble lying in perpetual state. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the... I guess. Just think, there's a dead guy under there. I was surprised Philippe le Bel had left this place alone. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard. I wondered if this... an architectural echo of the...
Hey, hey, you! What? Leave that comer.
Sorry, no harm in...
You stay away from.
Hello again, officer.
Hello.
Look at this gem.
Cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for real.
What kind of madman would go on?
So either it's glass or I'm mad? I didn't like to think about that for... I'll see you...
Oui, monsieur.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the... I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
the Hagenmeyer Clinic in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he...
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak?
Not really. See you later. It's George.
That's great.
Yeah, if I get to see him, I'll let you know.
Okay.
The old building managed to retain some of its... But the modern... There was no sign of the crew of the ambulance.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Benny.
Bunny.
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself. Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of...
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. I've never seen him before.
See you later.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the hack?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, a gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock, alarm falls. 610, bowel movement, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here a long time?
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow. As I tugged the plug out of the socket,
Mr. Shine? Hey now, you can't go in there. I'm responsible for the...
hello.
What's that? Ah,
I'd like to talk to you.
that's what... Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah, end of the corridor, ward J2.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you?
No,
I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
Whatever you've got with this metal mop-foot is probably a fine and noble thing.
It is? Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the quarters?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is?
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No.
See you later.
Oui, monsieur.
Is this Ward J2?
It is, but you're not supposed to be here. We have strict rules about visiting hours.
Can't you make an exception? I've come all the way from California.
You must speak to the doctor.
I can't wait that long. What if he snuffs it?
You can't talk like that here. This is a hospital. You will have to leave.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
You can tell me how my brother is, can't you?
Of course, monsieur. What is his name?
Jacques Marquet.
Let me see. He's satisfactory.
I was told he was dying.
Well, he is, but the doctor described his condition as satisfactory. That's quite an improvement on yesterday.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I...
Thank you, nurse.
You may come
Thanks.
the second Tuesday of each month.
Maybe the face of the unaccountably happy domestic had made me unduly suspicious. I mean, I knew it was only my imagination, but the water tasted, well, peculiar. As I...
Not again.
I wasn't in... Doctor...
Good afternoon, doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J...
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's...
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks. Hi, I'm Dr. Stobart.
Hello, Doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
I might not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts. I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
But just think, 2 seconds every minute? Why, that's almost half an hour every day. 2 weeks out of it.
I don't have time to listen to this.
He's round the corner, in solid.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doctor.
We doctors don't know everything.
Then how come you act like you do?
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, neither have I. That's the worst thing about being in hospital. You feel like the rest of the world has abandoned you.
Well, you know how it is. Life goes on.
Thanks for those comforting words.
Do you know what this piece of equipment...
No.
Well,
Thanks.
hello again. Do you reckon
Nah, Doc.
a cold...
What are you...
No.
Oh,
Well,
thanks.
the graph showed a steady decline, and it kind of shook me to see this guy's life reduced to a few... Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a quad...
You better believe it. What's your impression of Nurse...
She's a very...
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not... She's quite... You've got to have...
What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room. That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common...
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor. But I...
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
Really? He's a dead ringer for my bank manager. Of course, Mr. Soames hasn't got a scar, and he doesn't come from the Middle East. His hair's a...
Remark. See,
Doctor,
what is it?
you haven't taken my blood.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it.
Of course I...
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later. His temperature was normal, with little fluctuation either way.
Oh, Doctor,
What now?
you didn't finish taking my blood pressure.
Okay, let's try again.
You don't have the first idea what you're doing, do you?
I'll come back when you've recovered your... This guy didn't look sick to me. He didn't have spots or stitches. Hi. I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. See you later.
You haven't finished taking my blood pressure.
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other patients.
I'll keep quiet when you've taken my blood pressure properly.
I have to see Jacques Marquet first.
How come he gets preferential treatment? It's because he's got money.
It's not like that. I'll come back when you've dealt with that chip on your shoulder.
You haven't finished taking...
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other... Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir,
Now, I was no doctor, but this guy... Hi, my name's George Stovard.
Aha! Just the... You must be the...
Yeah.
Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bunny, come here. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust...
Do your own babysitting, Gramps. Who do you think you are, anyhow?
I am Felix Hagenmeyer.
And may I say what an honor it is to meet you in person, sir. You are on my medical wall of fame. Right up there with Pasteur and Leary. I look on it...
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real...
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Look what Nurse Grendel gave me, sir.
Ah, yes, very good. I'm glad to see you're carrying it with you. It reassures the public to see the medical profession using traditional archaic tools.
Look what Nurse Grendel gave me, sir.
Yes, yes, you told me.
So long, Hagenmeyer. Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
Do you know the nurse on Ward J?
No, monsieur. This is my first day here. I was stuck. I didn't mean to get my hands dirty.
Shut up.
Okay.
Here, take this
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Follow me, Ben.
I'm right behind.
Excuse me, sir. Look at...
Yeah, well,
So long.
Could you take a look at the client in bed? His name
What's his...
is...
I'll have... Hi, it's me again. See you later.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready with that pressure gauge?
Primed and ready to pump, sir. What do you want me to do?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, docteur.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks. Have you seen any suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How was the bear acting
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Don't you think it's possible that the bear was a man in disguise?
Well, obviously, I'm not completely stupid. But who would go to the bother of disguising himself as a bear? It's not as if he'd blend in with the surroundings. I checked. They told me to sit tight until reinforcements arrive. No, I have no.
Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir. If you see that... Rather you than me, pal.
On the top of the chart was his name, Jacques Marquet. I didn't need to be a doctor to read the graphs. Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lahmar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly. Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
What, you have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them?
We've met. What about the Hashashin?
He's more likely to have followed Klausner. He'll stop at nothing to prevent the reforging of the sword.
And that's bad, is it?
As for Klausner, he has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He has a theory about the lucky.
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet.
What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. Hagenmeyer was to hear that.
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Well, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter! The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Stand back, monsieur.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves. Have you ever heard of the Hashi-Ashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust. I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one, Rosso or Sergeant Moo? Oh, were you referring to Andre?
I'll let you work it out. Excuse me.
What do you want now?
Have you ever heard
What was that?
the cult of the assassins?
What are you trying to say, Stobart?
That the clown is a member of that cult.
I see. And what proofs do you have?
Proof? I arrived at my conclusion through logical deduction and
Pseudo-intellectual people. Leave the investigation of crime to those who know best. The police.
is Rosso?
Yes, he is.
Yes, I do.
One moment, Miss. Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well. What now?
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson, and art theft.
An all-rounder, huh? How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
Have you heard of the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. But of course, monsieur, their fame is widespread throughout France. We haven't forgotten them, unlike the rest of Europe.
It was the King of France who persecuted.
Indeed.
That shook his cool. Underneath his cultured facade, the man was real twitchy. You're obviously a great admirer of the Knights Templar. Not everyone would share.
Not everyone shares my passion.
But if the Templars were as honorable as...
That's enough. I do not wish to hear your uninformed opinions, Stobart.
Why do you get so wound up about the Knights Templar? They've been dead for centuries. I shouldn't have pushed my luck. Whatever.
The Templars were the first true internationalists. 800 years on, and still the world. You will excuse me.
You have left it very late, monsieur.
Late for what?
Anything? I am closing the museum soon. You wouldn't like to get locked in. I can tell you. Not in this gallery.
Why not?
It is haunted, monsieur.
You don't believe in ghosts, surely.
Oh, yes, I do. 7 years ago, a lad managed to hide in here. He made a bet with his friends, I suppose. When I found him in the morning, he was cold as ice and stiff as a board.
Well, what was the cause of death?
They said it was a brain, but on his face was a...
Scary.
Forget it.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already?
My...
Eh bien,
Good night.
Hey, Guido! Look at this!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and...
Oh, Guido!
What's the big idea, you dummy?
The mummy! It's come!
If that's a mommy, I'm glad I'm an orphan.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
already? There just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me.
Eh bien,
Hey, Guido! Look at this!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
Oh, Guido!
What's the big idea, you dummy? If
Oh, Guido!
what's the
Oh,
what? What's the if that if that's the mommy?
oh,
What the? Who's there?
let's get out of here!
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed...
Poor sh...
What a mess. I bungled the whole...
I don't think so. You...
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean... It was you who stole the... Oh, hell, Nico.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plan. We're supposed to be in this together. But how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't circus your...
Oh,
And...
nothing happened.
Yeah.
The gem fits perfectly, but what does that prove?
Maybe the tripod has to be in a certain location.
There's nothing on the manuscript to indicate where, though, is there?
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André.
Oh, yeah. I hope he didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was like... He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets there. He made a sketch of the Knight's Crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family...
I sure hope so.
That's it. What are you...
I picked...
You...
Let's... There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. That's the gem. That... Do you want to... Are you...
Positive.
There was nothing in the... The glass case was intact, but the tripod had been replaced by a sign reading, "Exhibit temporarily..." Hi, Andre. What's with the...
Haven't you heard? She tried.
No kidding.
I just don't get it. So many other treasures. And the thief...
A modern-day alchemist?
Who knows? There's no shortage. Hey, I visited...
Yeah, she...
Ooh, quite a... I didn't expect anything...
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes. It was a radical Muslim sect. It was formed in 11th century...
At roughly the same time as the...
Yes. They gave a new...
How did the assassins get their...
From the legend, a young man, he awoke to find himself the freshest water.
Cool. Do you have...
I haven't finished the story. There was...
Wouldn't you just...
The young man would wake the... He was told that a heaven he would enjoy for eternity.
How did the... And does the... Do you reckon... What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from...
We get...
It's a story.
What story does the...
It was too